Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive in to the TA. All right, guys, market wants to push higher. That's the theme right now. We're going higher. That's that. SPY, QQ, IWM, DIA, Mag 7 stocks. They're all going higher. That's what we should be looking for right now, not the other way around. All right, this is the MAGS ETF over here. It looks like it's about to have a breakout above 60.96, regardless of if that happens, tomorrow or not, next week or not. Who cares? Maybe we consolidate a little bit. We're going higher. So just know that that is what's going to keep happening. I'm going to point out here, VIX did print a doji candlestick after sweeping the recent low over here. Typically, when we see that, VIX will start going a little sideways for a few sessions before making its next move. That next move could be up or down. We don't know, but I am just pointing out here. All right, that's typically what happens. All right, and that is what we have right now. All right, just sweep below, doji candlestick. All right, starts moving sideways. All right, so I think that's probably going to be the case over here. I think the indices are going to keep drifting higher as that happens. Then maybe over the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll see a VIX spike start popping up. But I don't think it happens right away. I think we're going to get some back and forth action on VIX over here as everything continues to do its thing. All right, so we did break out from the inverse head and shoulders yesterday. We did end up hitting it with the break and retest this morning, and we're almost up at 650, guys. We didn't hit 650 just yet. We have a high here of 649.79 in after hours there, and high of day is 649.48. Guys, tomorrow we're probably going to take out 650. If we pull back, it's a clear as day buying opportunity. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This video is going to be a quick one. I think I am starting to get a little bit sick, so if you hear me coughing, clear my throat, just realize that is what's going on. I was coughing a bit today, so throat's feeling a bit scratchy. Just letting you guys know. All right, give me a few days. We'll sound back to normal. All right, but yeah, upside, guys, 649.48, 650, 652, 655. On the downside, 646, 647.37, 646.19. Underneath there, we're watching 644.11. Coming over here to QQQ. All right, you're not yet at all-time highs, but I will point out you got a breakout of your own out of this 3.5 day range, it looks like here. Got the breakout today on increasing volume. Yeah, all right, guys. Pretty perfect reaction today, guys. If you guys don't know how to put these levels on your charts, okay, you're going to need accurate levels to look, to trade. All right. If you don't know how to do those yet, steal mine. They're here 5 days a week just for you. Okay. We rejected 575.57 early on, came back. All right. Found buyers off 574, started pushing back up. And guess what? We rejected 577.77 right at end of day there. And we do 15-minute bearish divergence. I'm not sure if that's going to be playing out overnight or not, but I do think if we get a dip, it's going to be bought, and I will not be surprised to see QQ over the next few sessions head up to all-time highs. That's that. Just look at how this weekly chart is set up at this point in time. You had your pullback, you didn't violate the low. You're now, if you close higher than where you were today, all right, you're going to have a bullish engulfing candlestick on the week tomorrow. So yeah, we're looking for higher prices. That's that. Above 577.77. All right, I'm going to mark this out right here. You have 579.84 and then 583.32. Above there, 585. On the downside, you're watching 575.57 and 574. All right, coming over here to DIA, I'm going to point out this thing looks like tomorrow it's probably going to be taking out that high at 457.87. Does not look bad at all. Big inverse head and shoulders breakout right here, and it just started. All right, we're looking for higher prices, guys. I've been talking about it. Weekly RSIs, guys, people are getting, prematurely bearish. Just know, even if we get that pullback I just talked about over the next 1 to 2 weeks, even if VIX starts, having its next move over the next 1 to 2 weeks, guess what? We're still going to be expecting to get bought, and people are going to continuously get super bearish when in reality, all of these pullbacks that people want to get, really bearish on have been your buying opportunities every single time since this mess over here. And I'm telling you, that is the only time over the last few years that you have taken out a weekly low. You have continuously made higher lows ever since over here. You have not violated a weekly low. You did it once over here, and people think it's going to keep happening. It's not. It's not. You're going to keep trekking up to new highs. I'm telling you, the weekly RSI is going to get overbought at some point, and we can see 670 by the time that happens. People are going to be mind blown. not us. Well, we're still going to have our mind blown, but we're going to be expecting it. All right. And I'm not saying, oh, you know, if we go up, oh, Henry's right. No, I'm just telling you, I'm making a very clear statement here. This thing is going to get overbought like it has every single other bull run. It's guaranteed to happen. It's not there yet. To get there, you need higher prices. Oh, look at that. That's super complicated. I know. But that's where you got levels over here, SPY QQ, DIA. We're expecting you go higher over here, break 457.87 in the short term, maybe push 460 tomorrow. But yeah, over the coming sessions, that's what you should be expecting. If we close out like this, expect this to push up next week. We probably get 460, 462 at least. All right. IWM also doesn't look all that bad here. I will not be surprised to see this, you know, widen up the range here on the weekly range, weekly candle. Tomorrow's the last day, so there's that. And I'll also remind everyone, tomorrow is the last day of the month of candle. All right, so there's that. You know, we do have Monday off, guys. All right, so there will be a long weekend. So just realize if you're playing shorter dated options, that is something that will hit you harder than it normally does. You're going to have an extra day of data there, and an extra less day of actual time value on your contracts next week. So just realize that is going to be the case. Okay. But yeah, guys, you know, everything's looking good. That's it. You know, before we go over the Mag 7 stocks, I'll just point out the Mags ETF over here looks like it wants to break out the new highs. It's probably going to get another move going. So what if it consolidates for a little bit? Who cares? You know, we talked about that ahead of time. You know, I was pointing out the break and retest when we were sitting over here. I know I look stupid at the time, guys. I know I don't like looking stupid, but you know, in reality, I know most people haven't had the experience that I've had in the market, and most people are going to continue having those opinions that I just know are very likely going to turn out wrong. And you know, you do develop intuition over time. I'm telling you, every single freaking time. All right, every time the market gets a little dip, you have just, I don't know. I don't like to, but you know, I'm just pointing out the negative people that come out when you have your pullbacks. Everybody's all happy and they're all joyed up, all right, when things are moving and grooving, okay? But you get your pullbacks, those buying opportunities, the mean reversions that come like, you know, every 1 to 2 weeks, okay? That's when everyone wants to shit their pants. That's when all the haters want to come out. That's when everybody wants to call Henry Boy over here stupid, which is fine, all right? Because I know those people are stupid, because they're going to get it wrong again. That's just how that works. So I'm just letting you guys know, all right? You can listen to the masses. You can listen to it, but they were wrong here. They were wrong here. They were wrong here. Who was right? We were fucking right, all right? Pardon my French, but let's be completely real about it. Stop giving into the perma bears. Don't do it. These guys do not know what they're talking about. Either they are thick-headed and they refuse to change, or they just haven't seen it, all right? They haven't had enough experience, which means you probably shouldn't be listening to them. They don't know what they're talking about. That's that. And there are a lot of large Twitter accounts, for some freaking reason, that also contribute to the bear porn over here across the board every single time. There's a reason these newer people, the newer traders, think that the market's going to fall off a cliff every single time you get a pullback to the daily 21 or the weekly 21. If it's not going to find buyers in the daily time frame at the daily mean reversion 21 EMA, guess what? We're just going to look for them to step in at the weekly 21. I know that's a crazy complicated concept there. It's freaking nuts. All right. All right, all these times are probably off the daily 21. Oh, you lose them, you come down to the weekly 21. It's as easy as that. Weekly uptrend, respect the weekly 21 EMA. Daily uptrend, respect the daily 21 EMA. Get underneath daily 21 EMA. Okay, get a little risk on or risk off for the time being, and then you get these weekly 21 EMA tests, and that's where you want to swing your bat. It's not that complicated, all right? But there you go, okay? Let's go over the Mag 7 stocks, guys. First things first, Tesla. All right, Tesla started catching a bid today. I'm just going to tell you guys, if you take out today's high tomorrow, it's probably going to be like this. I don't think they're just going to push this thing back up. But I will tell you, if we close out with a upper wick here, all right, a decent sized upper wick, I just want to point out that none of these other times where you really just hit the jets over here, you have these impulsive moves, they don't come the week after you print one of those upper wicks. So maybe they pump it tomorrow and save the weekly candle, but I'm just going to tell everyone to limit your darn stinking expectations over here on this name if you don't want to get rocked. All right, guess what? You rejected up here. You took out the daily low today. All right. I've been talking about this condition here. When it happens, you're not in the impulsive move. You're in this chip chop. All right. You're going back and forth. You're in consolidation. You're in a pullback, but you're not trending upwards. These happen on big gap ups. Okay. All of them happen with the gap ups. This time we didn't get a gap up. So I was pointing out the other day that that's a bit concerning over here. I was thinking we get a little bit higher before this pullback. We didn't get it. No, they didn't give you boy 360 there. They didn't do it. They did not. But I will point out, you pulled back to a key level here, 340.55. This is where you broke out from over here. If you weren't going to hold that, we were watching 338. 338 to 342 was what I was thinking. But yeah, I don't think things look all that bad with how you closed out today. And I do think there's a chance they do pump you tomorrow. But I'm telling you, if they do pump you tomorrow and it's not off like a big gap up, then there is a solid shot that it's just going to be this crap. And it's going to be a big pump and dump. And you could take it as an exit if you're in shorter dated options there. All right. And then, yeah, maybe we consolidate for the following week there. We don't get a big move because, again, if you print these upper wicks, guys, all right, the following week you can, look at that. You can move up, but you don't even take out the high. I'm just pointing out this impulsive move. Don't follow this. It doesn't. All right, this took an extra week. You have one right over here. Oh, what happened the following week? You didn't even take out the high. All right, so that's like if we print this, we gap down here next week, 340, and we don't even take out 355. I don't think that's going to be the case, but, you know, I'm just pointing out if we print the upper wick, that's what we're going to be looking for. Or you fall and you consolidate more. All right, I'm just pointing out, limit those expectations here in the short term. I know everyone wants to get real excited, me as well. But in reality, this is how the charts work. That's why we, you know, use technical analysis, and that's what happened in the past. It's not going to repeat itself, but it probably will rhyme. So there you go. That's Tesla. You know, above 357.54, you have 367.71, and then, you know, real big party gets started here. We're going 400 plus. But you see this? I have a feeling they'll do that. Okay, that's Tesla. All right, that's about it. Nvidia, the big boy. Oh my God. Oh, the bulls, they're wrong. They're wrong. Oh, gets bought up the following day, back at all-time highs. Oh no. Stupid. Stupid. That's how that is. Okay. It's going higher. I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but I'll tell you, this is an equal high. Equal highs will be tested again. They will be broken. Even if we just sweep in, slightly make a higher high here, you're going to do it. Okay, I don't know if you're just going to sweep in, you know, pull right back. I have no idea. And then you have a large correction. I have no idea. But in yesterday's video, I did say buy it. Okay, the thumbnail was buy it. No financial advice will be given on this channel. Okay, but yeah, you see a dip over here on Nvidia into this area. Buy it. It's going to be like all the other times. Okay, it's going to be like something like that. If we were to have this big red ugly candlestick here, the following week, pretty much all of them, if you just go back, they get bought. All right. If you're above the weekly 21, they get bought. That's how that goes. Okay. So if we were to see it, and still if we do see it, all right, there's that. But I am pointing out, whether that happens before or after, we're coming up to new highs. That's going to be the case. I don't know if they do it tomorrow, but it would make sense if they do it tomorrow. I'm just pointing out, we're going back up the highs. I can't really tell you what's going to happen in the short term. You have a wide body doji candlestick with a massive range here of 176 up to 184. All right, not really much to do with that. What I can't tell you, if you see a dip, it gets bought. What I can't tell you is you are going to take out this high. So if you start seeing this thing push up, sitting at 182, 183, you start seeing a smaller time frame setup. Look for the pop above 184.48. It's going to do it. You might get 186 there. All right, that's the video. Amazon, guys, 230. That was the level to be watching over here. It was looking pretty clean yesterday. You know, I just didn't think Nvidia earnings were going to be tanking the market. We have the Mag 7 stocks and a lot of tickers just not looking like that's going to be the case. Amazon, it wouldn't make sense if this thing is going to return back down to here. You now had two bear failures over here. They pulled you back. It's like I was saying, all right, daily 21. Oh, I'm sorry, it broke. Oh, no. But what is literally sitting right here? The weekly 21. People overcomplicate things. You don't have to, but you know, bears want to sound really freaking smart all the time. In reality, this is how it goes. Guys, keep it simple, stupid. That's the motto. Okay, keep it simple, stupid. You can't mess it up. If you're in an uptrend on a specific time frame, expect those dips to be bought. The larger time frames are going to be king. Your weekly. they're going to be king. All right. Amazon, it started making its move today, guys, above 230. We have 232.68. That's today's high. Okay. Take out today's high tomorrow. You're very likely going to test 234.08. And if you're going to test that within a few sessions or the same session, I think you push 236.53. Short term, 236.53 if you could take out 234.08. It looks really juicy. It looks good. You might consolidate a little bit around here and then push up next week. That's a possibility. We don't know. But I'll tell you, take out 236.53, you push straight up to 242.52, you probably get 245, 250. There's Amazon. Okay. And I got some good trade ideas at the end of the video for you. I got you. Meta still has to get over 760, support 740.91, continues holding, but yeah, it's not going to do anything until you get over 760. That's Meta. Google, guys, new all-time highs today. It really didn't make sense for Nvidia to tank this thing, guys. It really didn't. None of these. It really just doesn't. Weekly RSI. Oh, it got overbought. Oh, look at that. You know, there's perma bears sitting on Twitter there, and yeah, these guys. I'm telling you, people just newer traders got to blindly follow these guys, and they just got to get wrecked because every single call they make gets wrong. You know, some of my calls be wrong, but I'll tell you most are right. But yeah, Google over here, guys. 215 in the short term. It's possible. Probable. You take out 212.90. We're probably going 215 tomorrow. Apple up. We're going up. Okay, that's that. We're going up. 235.12 incoming. I don't know if you're going to break it or not. I think you're going to test it though, and either you go like that or you go like this. We had 829 235C getting they were pretty active today over here on Apple, so I think we're going to test 235 tomorrow. I think that's going to be the case. I think we get above it. Maybe we pull back and get this scenario here. I'm really not sure, but up, we're going up. That's how this is going to break here. This is 3 weeks of consolidation. What happens when you break that? Okay, we're going to look for the measure move of the range. It's an 11-point range, guys. All right, we're coming 245 plus probably in the short term. Yeah. All right. Expect another big push. Okay. This was your last, you know, you're pushing. You got 3 weeks of consolidate. It's like 2 weeks, but you know, over here we got 3 weeks. All right. I think we're about to have a decent sized push if we could break that high. All right. So that's Apple. It's heating up. Microsoft, it's also starting to heat up, guys. We pointed out 4-hour bullish divergence. Doesn't mean you're immediately going to start bouncing back. I pointed that out. But I did say, yeah, that's typically what you have every single time it starts trying to build out a base, starts trying to reverse. So you start paying attention when these things happen. And then you had to get above 509.44 for this thing really to start gaining some ground. You're now above 509.44. I think you're going to push 518.29 in the short term. That's Microsoft. That being said, you're right underneath the daily 21. So you do want to get above there. Just keep it in mind. You know, I'm not trading that. I just cover the Mag 7 stocks every video here. I would personally say Microsoft right now, it's not really worth. Meta right now, just wait for it to break from consolidation. If you do want to focus on Mag 7 stocks, Tesla's still in this, you know, trappy consolidation mode. It is, okay? No matter how many people are in denial over it, it is. I don't think it's just starting this massive impulsive move right now. I was really excited about it. It was really nice. And then you took out the low today. And that's literally what happens when you don't continue just skyrocketing. It's not gonna happen right away. You're gonna go through one of these probably. And that's fine. All right. Just make sure you're limiting your expectations. And if you get a pump tomorrow, just realize that could be your exit. No financial advice. I'm just pointing out how this is probably gonna go down. This thing doesn't lead to immediate upside. It leads to maybe upside, but it's not gonna be that, you know, it's not going to be one of these things. Not by any means. Those things happen with gaps. So we're watching for them. All right. All right. So those are your Mag 7 stocks, guys. Now for the trade ideas of the video. I got you. I got some sexy ones. Rocket Lab, guys. Break and retest off this upper trend line of the bull flag. This is a month and a half bull flag right here. You broke out above all-time highs, 33.34, pulled back to the week of 21 EMA. All right, and you've been basing out. This is about a month and a half of consolidation here. It's now starting to break out. You're above your daily 21. You flipped the cloud green over here after it turned red. It's not looking bad, guys. It's looking like you want to push. You got a left shoulder, you got a head, you got a right shoulder, you know, something a little sloppy. But guess what? Okay, boom, pull back to the 4-hour 21 EMA. You're finding buyers off it. It's looking really constructive right around that upper trend line, guys. You know, this is multiple days. It's holding this area. It's likely about to start pushing back up. If you can get back above 50, I think you go straight to 53.44 within 1 to 2 sessions. And then I do think we're on our way to 60 bucks. Okay. This thing really wants to go, then it can get a decent sized move over 53.44 pretty quick. Within a few sessions, I think we could at least get 57.58. But yeah, definitely looking for a big move over the coming 1 to 2 weeks here. I'd put it on your radar. I personally started getting involved today. I'm really liking it. All right, there you go. Affirm. All right, it's up off earnings, guys. It's up pretty big off earnings. All right, so I'm going to point out this weekly candlestick is going to now look like that, and you're going to have a big ass breakout on your hands. And I'm going to point out what happens when a firm gets these big green weekly candlesticks. It continues pushing the following week. All right. Fresh breakout with the big weekly candlestick. Fresh breakout, big weekly candlestick. What happens? All right. You go vertical the next week. All right. Weekly breakout. All right. Dips get bought. Where you open from, it barely sells. All right. You're down a point. Oh, boom. Another 15% move. All right. So I am just pointing out, that's when you break out on this name. That's what happens most of the time when you start the fire and you start these big green weekly candlesticks and you break over a key level. You're probably going to continue the following week. So this is something to keep in your radar into next week. Reddit. All right. Reddit started heating up today, guys. I've been pointing out off the daily 21 EMA here above 221.73. That's your first sign. It's, you know, buyers starting to step in there. You wanted to get a daily close above that. You got the daily close above that today. And really the second thing you need to do is get above 230.41. Previous all-time high. You get back and reclaim that level. I think you're going straight back to all-time highs probably that same week. I do think this thing's probably going to be moving tomorrow. It's looking pretty sexy here on the 4-hour. If it doesn't move tomorrow, expect movement next week. This thing probably will be at new all-time highs by next week. That's Reddit. SoFi, guys, break and retest off 25. We pointed out yesterday. Guess what? It's now pushing back up to 26.61. Probably going to take that out tomorrow. I do think it's heading for all-time highs, 28, 26. That's that. Probably by next week. That's SoFi. Uber, guys, you continue finding buyers over here. I think this is still getting ready for a big move. And if we don't start this move this week, I think it's probably going to start next week. But this is definitely a name that once it starts going, it's going to go 105, 110. It's going to have a big move. And then maybe it's over after, you know, a few weeks of that move. I'm not really sure. But I do know you've had this massive base for a while here. By that, I mean, like, what, 1 to 2 years? All right. Yeah. 1.5 years there. Okay. 1.3 years. You broke out above it and you've now based above that bigger base for now 3 months, 3.5 months. The thing looks like it's about a rocket. You just have to be patient and wait on it to do so. Okay. You could try and time with shorter dated options. I'm just going to say this name has a lot of back and forth. You're going to have a much easier time not doing that. You could play with commons or you could play with dated options. There you go. October and November calls. They're good. October call specifically. Netflix. I know nobody wants to hear about this name over here, but I still think it might be making this move. All right. It started breaking up from this 3-day range over here today. It's not looking bad here. Not at all. Above 120, 1233.80. 1233.80. Above there. All right. Tomorrow, this might get a little move going, a little 10 to 20 point move. We're going to say 10 to 15 point move. I don't know if they're going to take a 1251. I don't think they're going to take it out this week, but I am watching for that. Most of these big moves to all-time highs, once you get a breakout, all right, well, not once you get the breakout, but on that breakout candlestick, it's a massive candlestick weekly. You got the same thing there. You got the same thing here. You didn't do it here, but then the next time you took out that high, that week, this thing ripped up to all-time highs, guys. All right. This was legit over that high, a 10% move. Imagine catching a 10% move here on Netflix, and it goes to almost $1,400 that week on you. All right, and you started getting involved at 1250. That's a 150 point, 120 to 150 point move you could be catching over here if you just keep Netflix on your radar. So I do think it's starting to turn around here. I think it's looking good. All right, Bears. They failed over here. You're starting to build out structure. And now you're starting to break up from that structure. It's not looking bad over here on Netflix. APP. There you go. I hope you guys made money. I pointed this out. This was round 3. I hope you guys nailed it over here. And I pointed out on this hammer candlestick off the 21 there. Guess what? We're now up above 473.70 and 500 plus is incoming. Now, what I want to point out is, first of all, I'm out. I'm out as of today. We took those off. Why? This is what we're going to point out. Most of these weekly candlesticks, guys, they pull back to start the week. You're going to get a better entry next week. I don't care if you go up to 500 tomorrow. You're probably going to pull back to current price at least next week. Most of these weekly candlesticks, they have at least a lower wick, if not a gap down. That lower wick on a lot of these is like 10 points, 10 to 15 points. Right over here, oh, you gap down, and you also have a lower wick that's 18 points of pullback. I know it's looking really good. It's still pulled back. It doesn't matter. All right, over here, oh, 32 points of pullback, and then you get bought up. Guys, imagine if you could just take advantage of that. You take your, 100% gains over here, and you just get back in next week at a better price. That's the idea. All right, most of these weeks, they do give you a better price, or price really doesn't move all that much over the weekend on these gap ups. It really doesn't. Over here, oh, you gapped up. Well, you trade flat for the next 2 weeks too, so who cares? That's a pretty big move, though, from that close. Regardless, I think you're going to get a better price next week. That's what I'm thinking. That's the plan, and we're going to take this thing above 525.15, maybe to 550. Still like September calls. MCD. Break and retest off 310.40 today. Pull back, reversion to the mean, guys. 21 EMA right there. Just like here, just like here, just like over here. Reversion to the mean. It looks like it's getting going. Daily RSI has not gotten overbought in quite some time. I think it's probably gonna, that's where this is gonna head. You're gonna keep getting these dips getting bought up as long as you're above that 21 EMA. And I think it's only a matter of time over the next, 1 to 3 sessions. We're gonna say I think you take out 316.80 and head up to 320. Probably will happen next week. I imagine they're probably going to close you out with this candlestick and send it next week. But it's one to keep on your radar. It's in the short term, it's probably going to begin that move to 320. That's the moral of the story. PEP. All right. I gave you PEP much lower. All right. Well, now you got this. All right. Move off 21 there. You got the breakout over there. Okay. I put it on your radar twice, guys. You got it here. You got it here. Guess what? It's now gotten this big move up to almost 155. It's pulled back, and it's now sitting right on where you broke out from, and it's on the daily 21 EMA, finding buyers for the 3rd day in a row. It's reminding me of right over here. We're going to be watching over here. We'll see if it can take out today's high. That's 148.04. Really, if this thing could just get back above 150 here, seems like a key spot. You get back above it. All right, it's probably when you're just going to take out this high up here, 154.61. Regardless, I like what's going on over here on the daily time frame right off the 21, and it's probably going to start catching a bit in the short term. One for you to keep on your radar. There you go. Disney. All right, guys, this is not one in the short term here. Just letting you guys know, it's not one in the short term. This is one we're watching for a big base breakout, though. I just thought I'd put it on your radar. This is looking quite beautiful. And yeah, once it goes, it's going to be a big mover, and it's going to pay. And we're going to be here for it. This is the last, big one that happened here. It happened all at once. Probably off earnings, if I had to guess. No, not even off earnings. You just went all at once. Probably off a catalyst. Regardless, you took out that high, and over the next 3 weeks, you went another, 20 points there, 15%. That same week, you had quite a decent freaking move. You went another 7%, 8 points. We're watching for it. Set your alert for 126.48. If that hits, immediately going up. 130, 135. That's Disney. PLTR, I'm just going to remind everybody what we said the game plan over here was for PLTR, guys. Dips, they're probably going to keep getting bought up. You see a dip to start off the week, probably gets bought up by the end of the week. That could very well be what happens over the coming 3 to 4 weeks. This is week 1 of those 3 to 4 weeks. So, yeah, I think you might have 2 more weeks of this action. And then if you can break above 163.20, that's when I think this thing starts pushing back up. All right. So that's the level I'd mark out here. I would say dips are going to continue being buying opportunities there. They're going to continue being bought. And then the larger reversal back to highs, that can come once you take out 163.20. All right. That's what we're watching on PLTR. D-King, honorable mention. All right, because we've been pointing this one out. Right over here, broke out 47.40, guys. It's up at 48.40 as we speak, and it had a high today of around 48.70. I do think this is probably going to keep going higher here, but I will just point out it's kind of just doing that grindy thing, and it doesn't really give you much to trade off of. So, yeah, you know, honorable mention, but I'm not going to say it's really giving you much action to really go off of, okay? Top watches in the short term, guys. All right, I'm just going to make it real simple here at the end of the video, all right, because we just went over a bunch of trade ideas. These are the top ones, okay? Rocket Lab. All right, short term, maybe next week, pushes above 53.44 and literally goes to 57.58 all in 1 week. I'd say this is your top watch right now. You got Tesla, but I'm just telling you, if you get that spike tomorrow morning, I think you might get it tomorrow just with the lower wick you just printed here. You know, that's just on a lot of these. When you are in the range, you will keep going bottom to top. Bottom to top. So I think we might be having that action. So this one to watch in the short term. But I think, you know, if you are in longs, there's the reason to sell it. And, you know, if you want to catch a quick, you know, long scalp tomorrow, there's that. And maybe you can even sell it. All right. If you want to take on something risky there. But, you know, I'm just going to say Rocket Lab short term. It's looking phenomenal. Okay. SoFi short term looking phenomenal. Netflix. That's what we're watching for Lotto Friday tomorrow. I think we could catch a decent move, but more specifically, I think if this takes out 1251, this probably heads straight to 1300 that week, and maybe 1341. That's a massive move that we could catch. APP next week, getting back in. That's the idea. But definitely just got this breakout in the short term, and the last big breakout here did lead to a 10% move over 3 sessions. So yeah, that's all the way up here, all-time highs. And if you get all-time highs, I could tell you, you're probably going higher than that. You're going to keep trending. All right? Just keep trending. That's going to be the story over here. That's 11% above. All right? 11% above a high, guys. Brings us all-time highs. So another top watch here. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to come trade with me, I trade these stocks every day, every week. I'm live every day. And that link will be down below. We got a nice community. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good time. Market's pushing up to new highs, guys. Just remember to please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't enjoy the video and you hated it, please, you don't have to leave a like. Don't worry. You can even leave a dislike if you really want. It'll make me sad, but you could do it. All right. Free will, free choice. But yeah, you know, if you guys did enjoy the video, just please remember to leave a like. If you wanted to, in case you're forgetting, here's a reminder. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.